Hi guys, Ben here from Pax Power Trucks in Houston, Texas, with something behind me that you're going to be seeing a lot of over the next year. This is our new shop truck. We've been doing shop trucks at Pax Power since day one, all the way back in 2018 when we took the first F-150 and converted it to a V8 supercharged Raptor. That was a truck that belonged to us. Similarly, we went out in 2019, bought a Silverado and made the first ever Jackal. And we've sold lots of those V8 Raptors and Jackals to people all over the world since then. Even more recently, we've gone out and we had a company Suburban that we did suspension and supercharger on. The Tundra you've been seeing in a lot of videos that we turned into a Timberwolf. That was a company truck of ours as well. And what these company trucks allow us to do is R&D. Not just throw a bunch of parts out there and get it to market overnight. Instead, we like figuring out what works, and we would never do anything to your truck that we wouldn't do to our own trucks. So example, on the Tundra, we drove that truck 20,000 miles, let's say, 3 different suspension systems before settling on something that we were ready to bring to the public. And now that we are building those trucks for customers, everybody loves it and says how amazing it rides. So now that Ford has come out with a new F-150, it was time for us to buy a new shop truck. And we went a little bit different with this last one. It's not the normal crew cab Platinum that we would normally buy and turn into a V8 Raptor. Instead, we went a little bit of a different direction. So hang out on this video. I'm going to talk to you about what this truck is, why we got it, and what our plans are with it. So I wanted to start with, what is this truck behind me? Well, this is a 2024 F-150 XL single cab with, of course, the 5.0 liter V8 and 4-wheel drive. The same recipe that we're going to be using on all kinds of 2024 F-150s for customers over the next few years. This truck is the only single cab worth discussing from Ford. I think they do maybe make some V6 options, but a ton of you were probably excited when Ford released this version with the new 2024 F-150s. It is cheap, but it has the things that you really want. You know, 5.0, 4-wheel drive. The rear end is actually a 3.73, which is the same housing that comes out of a Raptor. A lot of F-150s have what's called a Super 8.8 rear end. This one has a 9 3/4, which is going to be awesome for all of the things we're going to do to it down the road. It's pretty cheap. I think MSRP on ours was about $44,000, but Ford's having a little bit of trouble moving trucks, even these 24s, so they gave us a $2,500 rebate right off the bat. So this thing was bought in the high 41s, which is a pretty affordable truck. And it is a blank slate. You know, there's a lot of parts on this truck that need to be upgraded, and that gives us an opportunity to do really cool stuff with it. So it has a couple of nice things to it. Full digital dash, which is really cool. Huge screen with Apple CarPlay. So it does have technology to make this relevant in 2024, but there's other parts of it that are very, very base. Obviously, you see the wheels, the grille, the headlights, the chrome bumpers. If you've seen the seats, they're very simple cloth seats, and looking at the floor, it has rubber floor mats. Well, we look at all of these things as opportunities to customize, to make it better, unique, and specific to the owner. So we're going to be upgrading all of those as we modify this truck. And similarly, I've been driving this truck around, and I normally wouldn't talk bad about a stock truck, but this thing's pretty terrible. I've got to assume that they have the springs from a 6,000-pound crew cab. They must be reusing those on this 4,000-ish pound single cab, but it rides like a dump truck. So one of the first things we're going to be doing is yanking off these tiny wheels and tires, yanking off this, you know, very cheap, harsh riding suspension, and replacing it with better spec items. Also, we're going to be fixing the stance. I don't know if you have looked at this, but I measured about 5 inches of rake on this truck. The front end is low, the rear end is high. There's just opportunities to make this truck better all over. So we're going to be addressing those over the coming videos and months, and can't wait to show you some of that stuff. So finally, let's talk about what we're going to do to this truck. We'll start with some quality suspension upgrades. We're going to be using some components from Fox on the suspension. Wheels will of course come from our friends at Method. Tires from BF Goodrich. We'll be getting rid of a lot of this chrome and powder coating things, fender flares. We're going to make some off-road packages at a few different price points. The first one's going to be somewhat entry level, but is going to dramatically improve the looks and ride of this truck. Then we're going to move on to our Alpha package, which is going to feature Raptor suspension. We'll do our own bespoke fender flares. That's where you'll find the ram air hood. And it will no longer look like an F-150 or have the stance remotely like an F-150 anymore. And then the final thing we're going to do body and suspension wise is something that we're excited about. I suspect all of you are excited about. And that is we're going to turn this into a two-door Raptor. We built 3 of them for our Ford dealer over in Saudi Arabia, and we weren't able to drive those trucks very much because they were sold as new at the dealer, but I did get to spend some time in them, and let me tell you, they are incredible. I mean, 4,500 pounds, Raptor suspension, huge tires. I mean, it's kind of performs like a side-by-side. It was so much fun to drive, but yet the outside looked like a Ford Raptor. The suspension stance looked like a Ford Raptor. So we're going to be doing that to our truck as well. We'll also be doing the Raptor treatment to the inside. So we'll be doing Raptor seats, we'll be adding carpet, we'll do Raptor steering wheel with paddle shifters, you know, bring all the cool things from the Raptor and upgrade this super simple work truck behind me. And finally, the thing that I know a ton of you are going to follow along with is we're going to be supercharging this. Whipple Superchargers is super close to releasing all of their products for the 2024 F-150s, and we'll be one of the first ones to have that supercharger system. So we'll be baselining this truck and share that with you. We'll supercharge it, we'll put it on the dyno again and share that with you. So over the next few months, whether you're interested in an entry-level off-road package, a supercharger system for your 24 F-150, or something crazy like the two-door Raptor that this is going to become, you should stick around on our PaxPower YouTube channel and see what we're up to.